Welcome to the Man to Man Sports Podcast. I'm Brad.
And I'm Ethan, and thank you for tuning in today. We got a Week 11 recap to go through, and we will start off with our Dawg or Dud segment.
That's right, Dawg or Dud segments. Got a lot of compliments last week on this segment, actually, so glad you guys are liking it. Week 11's Dawg or Duds. We're going to start out with quarterback Josh Allen, over 300 yards passing, 3 passing touchdowns, and 3 rushing touchdowns in a win. That's a very impressive game for Josh Allen.
Yeah, second time he's done this in his career with 3 passing and 3 rushing touchdowns, and a very impressive feat.
I didn't know that. So Josh Allen is a dog. That's right. Coming in our wide receiver selection this week for the Carolina Panthers is Teteroa McMillan, the rookie, having a standout game and a comeback win.
Yeah, really good team. They were down 21-10 at halftime, and he was a big reason they came back, him and Bryce Young.
Absolutely. So Teteroa McMillan is a dog. All right, coming in at our running back position, Tampa Bay's running back Sean Tucker, over 100 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns this week.
Yeah, a really good game. Breakout for the backup. Good for him. It's still Bucky's job, but he had a good week for him while he was out.
Very good, very good. Sean Tucker is a dog. Coming in with our dud of the week is quarterback Sam Darnold, probably with his worst game in a couple years.
He still has the turnover problem, so it's been a thing. For the past 2 years, he still had a turnover problem. He's looked better, but until he fixes the turnover thing, he's still kind of a mediocre quarterback.
Very high, very low quarterback when you have Sam Darnold. So feast or famine, and that is our Dawg or Dud segment for this week. On to the recap.
Yeah, we start off with our Thursday night game. We had the New York Jets go to New England, but New England won that game 27-14.
Yeah, New England, they've done what they've done all year. They took care of a lesser team, got a win, and they're still in first in the East.
Yeah. The next game, going over to Madrid, was Washington at Miami. Miami winning this one 16-13 in OT.
Yeah, it's two bad teams, really. Two bad teams. Both teams had chances.
In a bad stadium.
In a bad stadium.
Not to crap on the stadium. They tried their best. It's just not made for the NFL, not a football game. Made for a football game.
Yeah. Very cool, though. Did you see the layers, how they bring them up out of the greenhouse and put them together? That was very cool, but yeah, not the best ground to play football on. Both teams had chances to win. Both teams blew it. Ultimately, comes down to a couple field goals Washington can't make. The Dolphins get to win. So congratulations to the Dolphins. Both teams get a bye week and get to rest up now.
Yeah, much deserving so, as they just came back from a long road trip.
Yeah, very long road trip.
Maybe some of them stay back in Madrid and have a little fun there.
I would, if it were me, man. I'd live it up in Spain for a week or so if I could. So
you got to pay for your own ticket back, but not a bad deal.
Not a bad deal at all, no sir.
We move on to our first 1 o'clock game, Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh taking this one 34-12, but it's not all good news for Pittsburgh as Aaron Rodgers gets hurt in this game.
Yeah, that's devastating for the Steelers. What's the backup kid's name?
Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph's been around the league for a while, but he is what he is. He's going to try to take care of the football for him, but certainly doesn't bring the winning ways of Aaron Rodgers with him. And Bengals also take a big one.
Mason Rudolph is not a great backup. He's shown that for years.
Yeah.
He's not a good quarterback. But the defense did what it needed to do, and they beat a lesser team. Yeah, Mike Tomlin's update on Aaron Rodgers as we sit here right now is that Aaron Rodgers fractured his left wrist. It does not need surgery, and they're taking it day by day, but it does not seem like he will play this week.
Yeah, probably not. So Mason Rudolph will get the lead role. We'll see if he can, just not turn the ball over and give that defense a shot to win the ball game. The Bengals, though, take a loss as well. but in a different way, with Jamar Chase being suspended.
Yeah, just 1 game suspension, but doesn't really hurt too bad when you're 3-7. Hurts Pittsburgh more just because they are leading the division in a close division race with Baltimore right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, both losses for both teams. We'll see how they rebound from it.
Yeah, Chargers at Jacksonville. Jacksonville took this one in an upset, 35-6. Huge upset this week, and this is what Jacksonville's done all year. They look really good, and then they'll look really bad.
Yeah.
But I like to see that Jacoby's getting into the offense, and it's really working.
It is, and the defense really was able to get to Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Cause a lot of problems for him.
I think just about everyone in the league's gotten to Justin Herbert now. We've talked about how bad the offensive line is.
Yeah. But kudos to Hines Allen for becoming the Jaguars' all-time leading sack leader. Doing that against this beat-up offensive line, but still a long-time career achievement. So congratulations to him. And we'll see. Looks like the Jaguars are back on track.
This was big for the playoff race, as both these teams are fighting for the wild card spots right now. Chargers right now are in 6th, and Jacksonville is in 7th right now. And this game has a big implication on who will take that maybe 5th or 6th seed when it comes time.
Yeah, we'll see what happens down the road. Both these teams vying for a spot. Should be interesting to see if it comes down to a tiebreaker. I hate to see Jaguar get in on something like that, but a lot of times that's what the playoffs come down to.
Yeah, it's a weird playoff race in the AFC, but we'll move on to our next...
Sorry.
We'll move on to the next game. This was a great game. Tampa Bay at Buffalo. Buffalo taking this one 44-32.
Yeah, it was a good game. Like I said, Josh Allen played lights out. The Bills' rushing defense is still bad though.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to really fix that if they're going to want to compete and get to the Super Bowl. The Bucs, on the other hand, seem to be reeling right now, and the schedule doesn't seem to get any better for them.
Yeah, no, losing 3 out of their last 4 games. They're on a downward spiral right now. We had Buccaneers at 1 before they went on this losing streak.
Yeah.
Injuries have really got to them, but you can't always blame the injuries. They're getting better though. It seems like a couple of them may be coming back this upcoming week. We will wait and see. Like you said, great game for Josh Allen, and this was a really close game. I know it was a 12-point game, but entering the fourth quarter, Tampa Bay was up by 1, and just a punt and a fumble, they kind of lost the game on that.
Yeah, a lot of times the game will come down to a turnover at the end of the game. This one did. The Bills were able to close it out, and they were the better team here.
They were. Both these teams looked good in this game, though, so looking forward to the rest of the season for both these teams. They could still both make a playoff run.
Yep.
But it is looking a little rough for Tampa Bay right now. The NFC looks really tough right now. I think there are really 6 contenders overall, NFC and AFC. And I think Buffalo's on that second tier of contenders, and so is Tampa Bay. So they both could make it, but it is going to be tough.
I would agree with that. Once you get into the playoffs, anything can happen.
Yeah.
We saw that last year with Washington making the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
But you rather would be on that building up side and getting the bye week than having to scrap through the wild card.
Entering the playoffs on a hot streak, that's always good too, as Washington did last year.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of times that pays dividends down the line, and a lot of these teams that do good in the beginning of the season and then whimper into the playoffs, whimper out of the playoffs pretty quick. So
yeah, I've seen that a couple of times. So hopefully Tampa Bay can go on a little bit of a winning streak here and get that hot streak.
I hope so, because Baker, he plays with all his heart, and it's a fun team to watch when they are winning and when they've got everybody healthy.
Exactly. Move on to the next game. This was also a good one. Chicago at Minnesota. Chicago taking this one 19-17, securing the top of the very tough NFC North this year.
Yeah, I would have never guessed the Bears being first, but they're kind of the Washington of last year. They're winning all these close games, and Caleb Williams is really coming into his own. The Vikings, on the other hand, the defense played a really tough game. But McCarthy turned the ball over a few times, and the Vikings couldn't really get anything going on offense.
Yeah, I've seen a compilation of worst throws thrown this week, and out of the top 10, McCarthy had 6 of them.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, rough game for him.
Yeah, the end of this game was crazy. Minnesota took the lead with 50 seconds left in the game, and they kicked the ball off, and he returns it all the way to the Minnesota 40, which is really good field position for Chicago with only 50 seconds left. They took 3 plays to run that clock down, and they trusted their kicker, and the kicker made it. It was a very windy day throughout the NFL. And
Yeah.
it's impressive to make, I think, like a 40-some yarder.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate for Minnesota to give that up. They were really celebrating early, basically. Weren't focused on the kickoff, and the Bears made them pay for it.
Yeah, the Bears were had good returns all game. They were doing good. Kevin O'Connell needs to get on the special teams side of things.
It looks like. And then on the Bears side, Monunga, he just keeps getting better and better. I really like that kid. And then the same thing goes for that receiving core and those 2 tight ends. They really got the offense working well in Chicago, and decent schedule they've got. So it's going to be hard for teams to pass them at this point.
Yeah, well, I mean, Detroit did beat them earlier this year. I think they can beat them again later this year. So I think they still make the playoffs easily, but keeping control of the NFC North is going to be tough.
It is. It's really good. The Packers are good, just a half a game above the Lions. And the Lions, we've seen how good they are when their offense is rolling.
Yeah.
And then can't count the Vikings out. They just beat the Lions last week, and then barely lose to the Bears this week. So that whole division is tight.
Yes, it is. It's a good division to keep an eye on. But we will move on to the next game. A little bit of the AFC South matchup. Houston at Tennessee. Houston won this one only 16-13 in a close game. But Davis Mills was playing, so it does kind of explain the closeness. Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter had a good game in this one. No surprise there. This defense is still rolling.
Yeah, the defense was the star of this game. And Tennessee's defense played well against the backup quarterback.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the better team won the football game, plain and simple.
Yeah, with Calvin Ridley getting hurt, they really didn't have a chance after that. They were strutting guys out there that haven't played a snap in the NFL, so kind of like Washington is right now. With Tyler Lockett asking to be released and the Calvin Ridley injury, they were hurting a receiver in this game. A lot of people think they have someone on their practice squad who played with Cam Ward in college, and some people wanted him to come into the game, but rather they put in someone else.
Well, I mean, at this point with this team, why not give him a shot? Maybe you can build on something for next year, because this year is Dunskies.
Yeah, that is probably a top 3 pick for them. At least they got that coming. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say honestly, I think them and the Raiders are the 2 worst. And
another game that went into overtime, Carolina at Atlanta. Carolina taking this one 30-27 in a close game. Like we talked about, Atlanta went into halftime up 21-10, I think, and the game ended up being 30-27. So it was a 20-6 score run for Carolina to come back in this game. As we talked about, Bryce Young has a huge part of that, 400 plus yards throwing.
Crazy game for Bryce Young, Tetaroa as well. And Penix getting hurt. They're talking about he may need surgery and may miss the rest of the year. I haven't had an update on that. Have you?
No.
Yeah, so who knows there. They may have to turn to Captain Comeback for the rest of the season. You can't.
I know their season's probably over now.
Yeah.
It's Atlanta's, yeah.
Yeah, Atlanta's. And it's a shame because they really started to build on something there for a while. But Penix just could never get over the hump there. And this defense got better, but the quarterback couldn't. And so I think it's back to the drawing board for the Falcons.
Yeah, I think they started off 3-2, something good like that. Yeah. And everyone was talking about maybe playoff contenders. They're 3-7 now.
Yeah.
not too good. They're not looking good on a 5-game losing streak. The season's over. Bijan, the defense looked good early in the season, but
Yeah.
not really since.
No, it's not in this game, especially.
Yeah, 30 points.
Yeah. Bijan is, a star. Drake London's a very good player as well.
Yeah.
But, you've got pieces to build around, but you got to get a quarterback.
I agree. Yeah, but they've already put in too much dice on. And I think when Penix goes is the time Raheem Morris goes. I think Raheem Morris kind of staked his career on Michael Penix, and it just hasn't worked out yet.
Yeah, it was an expensive mistake. After you give Kurt $30 million, you go draft a guy in the top 10. You better hit on that, and it looks like they've missed.
Exactly. So we'll move on to the next game. We had Green Bay at the Giants. Green Bay taking this one 27-20. The Giants looked like they could have won this game. Again, another team that's kind of looking shaky right now, but they pulled off the win.
Yeah, Winston really had this team pumped up, Jameis.
He did.
And he took them to the end. Unfortunately, Jameis Winston does as Jameis Winston does, and threw an interception in the end zone to end the ball game. But this team has got all good energy with Jackson Dart and Winston and Scatterboo, and they've got a talented receiver next year when he comes back with Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
This team has a lot to build on. A good, solid defense. It's still trending up for these guys. They gave the Packers all they could handle.
Yeah.
Without their number one receiver, without their number one running back, without their number one quarterback. So kudos to the Giants. And the Packers, man, I can't figure them out. I don't know.
Yeah, they were my Super Bowl contender to start the year, and I've changed obviously since then.
Yeah.
But they looked really good to start the year, and I was like, oh man, I may have hit this, but they've just been sliding, and I think the Kraft injury really is taking a huge toll on them.
Yeah.
The offense doesn't look the same. They used to be big play after big play, and they're turning into more like a safe team now.
Yeah, it's really surprising that the tight end could change the offense that much, but it certainly has in Green Bay. Kudos. I guess it just shows how good Tucker Kraft really was, even when he wasn't getting the football.
Exactly. Next game was the battle for the NFC West. Who was going to be leading that division? And it was Seattle at LA Rams. The Rams taking this one 21-19. Rams looking really good in this game. And that Seattle defense, it's insane how good they are. This Rams offense looks so good week in and week out. Seattle defense held them to 21, even though Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions.
Very surprising. I thought this would be a close game. I did pick the Rams, but I thought it was going to be really a quarterback duel, and it wasn't. Both defenses locked it down really, and the Rams were ready to come out on top just because of the simple fact they didn't turn the ball over a million times. But kudos to both these defenses. I mean, they are really top-tier defenses in the league. I would say Broncos are 1, obviously.
Yeah.
And I would put the Rams and Seahawks right behind them.
Yeah, I mean, these two are definitely top 5. And I think I agree. I think I'd have them 2 and 3 as well. Kyron Williams had a really good game in this one. I was watching him run the ball. It's just fun to watch. 12 carries for 91 yards and a touchdown. He was the entire offense this week.
Yeah, because Seattle done a great job against Puka. They done a great job against Devontae Adams.
Exactly, that was the thing. I mean, Devontae Adams did get his touchdown, but he's leading the league in touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
He's always been a red zone threat.
Yeah, he is the red zone threat. When you're in the 20 against the Rams, you better key on number 17 because they're going to look at him.
Yeah.
But I also liked the Rams tight end in this game, Parkinson.
Yeah.
He played a very good game as well, and Stafford still looks like an MVP candidate. JSN, again, played his butt off.
I was just about to bring that up. JSN had 100 yards again, keeping him on track. I love to watch this guy play. Didn't get in the end zone, unfortunately, but Kenneth Walker was really their main red zone threat. Kenneth Walker had a good game as well.
Back to JSN, setting a record for the first NFL player in history to start the season with 10 consecutive games with 75 yards or more.
Yeah, that's really impressive. Wow. Yeah, I mean, he was on pace for 2,000, not anymore, but he's still right there. I still think he gets it. He's so good. And if he gets 2,000 yards, like we said, he's got to be in the conversation for MVP.
It would be ridiculous to. I know it's become a quarterback award, which irritates me to no end.
Yeah, when was the last time a receiver won the MVP?
Oh my gosh, it's a great question. I don't even know.
I can't think, and definitely not in my lifetime. I don't think in the century even.
No, Calvin Johnson didn't win it.
Calvin Johnson
So it was probably Jerry Rice was the last one.
I bet so, like in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know that for sure, but that would be my guess. Wow. I mean,
it's impressive. And like we said, if he gets 2,000 yards, he's got to be in the car. Someone else would have to do something ridiculous, like Jonathan Taylor set the rushing record.
To me, that's the only thing that could supplant it, and even that, I don't think it does. I think that those are just equal feats, really.
And then I wouldn't mind either one of them winning it.
Correct.
If there's 2 records set this year, what a great NFL season.
Oh, what a great season that would be indeed. And it would be really awesome if those 2 teams were to meet in like the Super Bowl. That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. I don't think the NFL can afford to try to send out Indianapolis versus Seattle for the Super Bowl. I think they're going to try to make it a little bit more interesting for more money than that. But we will see. And we'll move on to the next game, though. We had San Francisco at Arizona. San Francisco winning this one 41-22. Brock Purdy is back.
Yeah, that really surprised me that they were able to win this game so handily.
Yeah.
But you got to give the credit to Brock Purdy. He really had that offense rolling. CMC still having another good game. George Kittle having a good game as well, and this offense was rolling on these Cardinals.
Yeah, Kittle with 2 touchdowns, McCaffrey 2 touchdowns, Brock Purdy threw 3 touchdowns.
We said earlier in the year that this was a quarterback dummy offense.
Yeah.
Or maybe dummy-proof offense at quarterback.
Yeah, just any quarterback can play in that offense and be good. Kyle Shanahan has proved that for years. Garoppolo, anybody can play it.
But there certainly is a difference between Purdy and Jones here. And so I'll give them credit where credit is due. The Niners are back.
I just think what it comes down to, because I think skill-wise they're pretty similar, but what it comes down to is leadership and personality, and everyone gravitates towards Brock Purdy. You can just tell by the way George Kittle talks about him. He raves about Brock Purdy.
Well, and they're boys. They've been around for a few years. This is Mac Jones' first year on the team.
Yeah. And
so that's to be expected. But the Niners looking good in a very tight AFC West as well with Seattle. And
right now they're in the playoffs at the 7th seed. I think they keep it. They look good. Move on to the next game. Baltimore at Cleveland. Baltimore taking this one 23-16. Cleveland was up 16-10 in this game. Quarterback goes down. You have to play Shador Sanders, and I think a lot of us seen this coming. It didn't work out. They lose the lead.
Yeah, you called it when Gabriel went down. You said Shador's going to blow it. Comes out first attempts of completion, but it was downhill from then on. The Browns, such a shame that defense played their butts off in this game. Myles Garrett with the 4 sacks.
Yeah, another great game.
Yeah, they had a pick 6. They had a guy with 2 sacks and 2 fumbles recoveries, and they still cannot win the football game.
Yeah, Shador just couldn't score while he was on the field. Not even put his team in field goal range. It's tough.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. And when you're basically down to what was originally your 3rd-string quarterback,
it's true.
It's tough to win like that, even with talent around them.
Yeah, that's enough said about that. The next game's great. Kansas City at Denver. Denver taking this one 22-19. Kansas City's playoff hopes are looking dim.
Very dim in KC. The Broncos come in and did what they needed to do offensively. Of course, the defense was the defense. It shined again.
Yeah, I think this is like Bo Nix's top 3 games of his career. Yeah. Doing this against Kansas City defense who led up the second least amount of points since 2024. And of course, but the only team that beat them in that category is Denver, letting up the least amount of points, a whole point differential between them. Denver's defense, as we said, number one in the league. They're so good this year. I love this Denver defense. They were really keen in on Nick Bonito in this game. Nick Bonito didn't have much of an effect, but good thing it didn't really matter. Patrick Mahomes was still getting pressured by the rest of that great defensive line.
Yeah, it was excuse me, a great team effort by the Broncos. And KC, I mean, they played a solid football game. This was a game between two really good teams.
Yeah.
Just the Broncos, like you said, Bo Nix was able to play his best game of the year, even though Courtney Sutherland was kind of held underneath what was expected of him. The run game couldn't really get going very well. They still found ways to move the ball enough to win this football game.
Yeah, it's a really good game from Denver. Courtney Sutton's been a little up and down all season, but I think that's more to say about Bo Nix being up and down all season than Courtland Sutton.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that because if you look at Tony Franklin, it's kind of the same way. He's kind of up and down.
Troy Franklin, you've done that twice now.
Who is Tony Franklin?
You keep down.
I don't know.
An R looks like an N.
I guess. Yeah, if you look at Tony Franklin's stat, son of a monkey's ass. Troy.
Yes.
Troy. Okay. Yeah, if you look at Troy Franklin's stats, it kind of mirrors that as well. It's a roller coaster on that.
Yeah.
And I think that is clear evidence of an erratic quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. Good game. Denver holds the NFC West as the Chargers and Chiefs lose. It looks really good for them to win that division. And in my eyes, I think it looks good for them to be the 1 seed at the end of the year.
I would agree with that. Right now, this Broncos defense looks unbeatable.
Yeah, and with a bye among that, this is a real Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, it really is. If they can just keep Bo Nix from turning the ball over, this team here is very much like those old Ravens teams, the 2000 Raven team, and even the one with Flacco. What was it, 09 or?
I think 2011 sometime.
Okay, yeah.
Sometime.
No. Ray Lewis's last season, whatever year that was.
Exactly.
But yeah, this mirrors that team a lot, I think.
I agree with that. That's a good comparison. I think they can do it. My 3 AFC contenders right now would be Denver is one, of course. I think Buffalo is one. Just still, they got to put them in contention. And I would say the third contender right now, probably New England. It'd be between New England and the Colts.
Yeah, I was going to say New England or the Colts. I think obviously New England has the better quarterback. I think they have the better defense. But the Colts have an X factor named Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
And no one has stopped him all year long. So
yeah, he's the best player among those two teams.
I would agree. And so to me, until someone can show the blueprint of how you stop Jonathan Taylor, to me it's the Colts. But I can certainly understand why you would pick the Patriots.
Yeah, that's a good point. But now we move on to an NFC battle to really see who's the contenders in the NFC. I would have both these teams as contenders in the NFC. Detroit at Philadelphia. Philadelphia taking this one 16-9 in a very windy game. I saw some clips of the kickers trying to kick in the pregame. That even a 30 to 40 yarder was a little bit risky. They were flying.
Well, and hence the low score of this game. And the Eagles proved that they can play battle ball a little bit better than the Lions.
Yeah, that trade made their defense look so much better. His defense got a lot better since they've added Phillips to the mix.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's a difference maker for sure because you couldn't run up the middle on them. Now they're getting pressure on the quarterback. What do you do?
Yeah, that's a tough question for sure.
Yeah, if you have the Eagles Broncos for the Super Bowl, it might be 9-3 or something.
Yeah, it would be a boring Super Bowl. That would be a crazy one. Yeah, in the NFC, I would say the Eagles, the Lions, and of course the Rams are the contenders there. The Rams look so good that they're my Super Bowl champion right now, halfway through the season.
So you would rule Seattle out because of Darnold, I guess?
Just because of Darnold, it's hard to. Just his turnover issue is incredibly hard to overcome. But I would have them in that second tier as well.
Yeah, you can't argue. I can't argue with that reason at all. I think if it wasn't for JSN and for Seattle's defense,
They wouldn't be contenders at all.
no, not at all. So I can certainly understand. The Rams, I think, are the most rounded football team in the NFC for sure. So I would agree with your synopsis there.
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs had a big game in this game. Even though they lost, he had 17 touches for almost 150 yards, averaging just about 10 yards per touch. Just crazy.
That is crazy, but that is the game he plays. He is very good at that.
Receiver position, 5 catches for 100 yards as a running back. He's so good at that.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I'm positive that he leads running backs in receiving yards this year.
This year, I would not be surprised.
Yeah,
him or Bajan, him or Christian McCaffrey are probably your 2 candidates for that.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say, him or C-Mac. But I think it's probably, as far as total yardage, I think you'd have to go Gibbs for sure. I mean, he's just amazing. You couple that with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Laporta. It's a tough offense, but the Eagles were able to hold them down, at least in the wind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a good game by the Eagles, showing that they are real contenders this year. So we move on to the next game, and Detroit dropping 2 in a row, which is tough. They were 6-2. Now they're 6-4, dropping down our top 10 list. It's looking tough for Detroit, but I'm sure they can bounce back if any team can with Dan Campbell at court.
Yeah, with Dan Campbell at coach, you've got a proven quarterback. You've got a good offense. I mean, it would not surprise me if they win out, to be honest with you. They're the type of team that can get on a roll and do that.
Yeah, they really are. They are a good team.
Yeah.
We move on to our next game. We had Dallas at Las Vegas. Dallas taking this one 33-16. Not much to say about this game. We knew Dallas was going to win it. They did pretty handily.
Yeah, Dak, 4 touchdowns. Great game for him. Yeah. George Pickens coming in, 144 yards and a touchdown. So that is kind of what we thought was going to happen. The Raiders are a pretty hapless team right now. One of the worst teams in the league with Geno Smith at the helm.
Yeah. I
don't see that changing for this season.
Yeah, Geno Smith earned another interception, of course, to add on to his tally of awfulness. Ashton Jeanty, though, only 6 carries for 7 yards. It's the best the Cowboys' run defenses look with their new additions.
Yeah, well, I don't even know. I forgot what I was going to say there. Sorry. Well, I think it's a sin only giving Jeanty six touches.
Sure.
But yeah, you got to give the Cowboys credit there as well. They pretty much eliminated the Raiders' only weapon other than Brock Bowers.
Yeah, Brock Bowers had a pretty good game. Just couldn't find the end zone. Still had 7 receptions for 70 yards. It's a good game. Not enough to win me my fantasy game, though.
No. But hey, I had Pickens as my boom, and he certainly did boom. And so I give Cowboys credit for taking care of business on a Monday night.
I agree with that. A really good game from them. And that's our games of the week, our recap, of course. Let us know what you think about that. That was a good week of football right there. A lot of change-ups for the division winners so far.
That's right. And so now it's time for our top 10 trending teams. Always exciting for me. This is my favorite segment of the show. I will start out coming in at number 10, dropping 3 spots and barely hanging into that top 10 spot is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, as we talked about, losing 3 of their last 4 games. We're a number 1 team, dropped to number 10. They barely held on. It's like a 50-50 between them and San Francisco right now, but Tampa Bay beat San Francisco earlier on in the season, so I think giving the nod to Tampa Bay is only the right thing to do.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Bucks You got to turn around, guys, so you're going to fall out of not only the top 10, but possibly playoff contention. Luckily, they're in the worst division in the NFC.
Yeah, but Carolina's only a game back right now.
That's
Carolina's
right.
actually playing pretty good right now. Carolina has a better record than Kansas City right now. Which
Isn't
is
that crazy?
crazy to say.
Well, and beginning of the year, we both picked the Panthers as a dark horse, and then they started out terrible. And we both wrote them off.
Yeah, we did. Starting 0-3, we were both like, we don't want to touch them.
Yeah.
But since then, they've gone 6-2.
Unbelievable turnaround for them. Bryce Young with the wake-up calls is really starting to play like a pro quarterback. Rico Dowdle is the heartbeat of this offense. Young wide receivers, clearly number one in Tetaroa. This team is not a team I would want to play right now.
No, they look hot right now. They look really good since they put Rico Dowdle in that starting running back position.
Yeah, so you better look out, Buccaneers.
Yeah, we move on to Chicago, or we move on to our number 9. Little spoiler, it's Chicago.
That's right, Chicago on a win streak, looking hot, taking over the NFC North. Really tight division there. Caleb Williams, as I said earlier, is really coming to his own this season. Certainly, you got to give credit to the head coach on that one.
Yeah, and with the progression of Common Young guy too, a little late round selection that Ben Johnson brought out of the woodwork.
Certainly a steal for sure. Bears number 9. Just ahead of them is number 8, the Lions, dropping 3 spots after losing to the Eagles.
Yeah, exactly. Not a bad loss, but it is tough to watch them lose 2 weeks in a row, which is why the dramatic drop-off happened, as this is a trending team. So they're realistically a top 5 team in the NFL, just on a little bit of a slip right now. Detroit looked really good. The only reason we have Detroit above Chicago is head-to-head record. That's Detroit's won that one game. If Chicago beats them later this season, I mean, they're the team of the NFC North.
Absolutely, I agree with that. And I agree with the other synopsis. The Lions, I do think will turn it around and will be in competition for not only for the playoffs, but for the NFC North.
Yeah, I completely agree. Move on to our number 7 team, a team that is trending up right now. Denver at number 7 right now after beating Kansas City to take hold of that AFC West.
Yeah, moving up 2 spots, beating Patrick Mahomes, the future Hall of Famer. Broncos defense looks unbeatable. Coming in at number 6, also with the win this week, the Bills getting off the schneid and moving up 2 spots.
Yeah, Buffalo and Denver, man, they're head and head right now in my mind. They look really good. These are like the teams of the AFC. This is my AFC championship game right now. Really good teams. But Buffalo is the just more rounded. I mean, they have Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen is the difference maker for sure.
Yeah. Josh Allen is so good. We'll move on to number 5, New England. Again, we're sticking true to the head-to-head record right now. New England beat them earlier this year. New England is on our top 5.
Yeah, beating the Jets, not a good team, but they do move up 1 spot due to everyone else in front of them, or a couple teams in front of them, I should say, losing. That being the Lions and the Buccaneers. So Patriots move up into the top 5 for the first time this year. Now moving on to the number 4 spot is the Indianapolis Colts, moving up a spot on bye week.
Exactly. The Colts look really good right now, deserving of the number 4 spot. And so we move on to our number 3 team, Seattle Seahawks, only dropping 1 spot after their loss, but their loss was to the number 1 team. They look really good on defense, as we've talked about. JSN still an MVP candidate. They're still a top 3 team.
Absolutely. So if you haven't figured it out, our number 2 team is the Philadelphia Eagles, also moving up a spot with their win over the Detroit Lions, another top-tier team. Eagles looking like they're back into top form.
Yeah, they look really good. As we talked about the trade. And so we move on to our number 1 team, the Los Angeles Rams, of course. The Rams are the best team in the NFL right now.
Yeah, standing pat now for 2 weeks in a row. They've been in our top 5 pretty much all season long.
Pretty much.
Yeah, this is to me, they are the team to beat. They are the Super Bowl odds-on favorite, I think, at this point, at least for me. I don't know about Vegas odds, but if I was a betting man, I would put it on the Rams.
Yep, Rams and Eagles. I'm really looking forward to that rematch of last year's NFC playoff matchup. It was a really good playoff game, and I think it'll be a really good game this year. I'm excited to see. This game will most likely be in LA rather than Philadelphia this year as well, which could be making the difference.
Could be the difference. That game coming down to the very wire. Clearly, it was the best two teams in the NFC as the Eagles then destroyed Washington in the NFC Championship game and then destroyed that other team in the Super Bowl. So
yeah, Kansas City. Kansas City made a little bit of a comeback in the second half, but it wasn't enough. Of course, the Eagles still won that game pretty dominantly.
yeah, so I think we called it there. I think Rams Eagles are the top two teams. Let us know what you think is your top two teams in the NFL.
Yeah, let's move on to that trivia question. I'm excited for this trivia question this week.
That's right. So we had two. Just try that again. That's right. So we had two quarterbacks this week throw over 400 yards in a losing effort. And so my question to you is, So my question to you is, what quarterback had the most passing yards in a Super Bowl in a losing effort? Can you give me the top three?
Yeah, I like that. A couple of quarterbacks threw a lot of yards this week, even though they lost. A couple of quarterbacks in the Super Bowl throwing a lot of yards, and it's kind of the lost history because nobody remembers the loser.
That's right.
Yeah, but one quarterback that no one will forget is Tom Brady. He's been to a lot of Super Bowls, so he's going to lose a couple, of course. And the one I'm thinking about is the one against the Eagles, where Nick Foles kind of outdid him, but I think Tom Brady still threw for like over 500 yards.
Man, you called it. That is absolutely right. Tom Brady is number one. He threw for 505 yards with 3 touchdowns, 0 turnovers, but lost to Nick Foles in 2018 and those Philadelphia Eagles. So you got number one. Can you name 2 and 3? You got 2 more guesses.
Yeah, that Super Bowl right there is top 3 Super Bowls I've ever watched. It was such a good game with 2 great quarterbacks, where the Philly special was born.
That's right.
Yeah, so a really good game with a bunch of good memories. These last 2 quarterbacks going to be a little tougher. A little bit tougher. I feel like Big Ben threw a lot of yards in his loss, so I'll go with Big Ben and the Steelers.
What Super Bowl? Do you remember?
I'm going to, I was kind of hoping to stick away from that question. If I had to give a Super Bowl, I'll give the one where they lost to the Packers. That was a good game.
Was a good game. Big Ben was on the list, but he is not in the top 3.
Oh, okay. Well, at least he was on the list. That's good. Kind of want to, kind of want to go with one of those 4 Bills losses just because I think Jim Kelly was the quarterback then.
He was Hall of Famer, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, out of those 4 games, 4 losses, I mean, you got a couple of chances. I think percentage-wise, it's my best option. So I will go with Jim Kelly in one of those Bills losses.
Another good guess, but they were they were the quick offense, but they ran the ball a lot with Thurman Thomas.
Thurman Thomas.
So actually Thurman Thomas, I think, had 100 yards in 3 of those Super Bowls.
Wow. Okay.
And never won one. So
wrong player on the team.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a good guess nonetheless. Like you said, you had 4 chances out of 1. So he leaves number 2 and number 3 for you. See if you can guess them. Please answer on the comments. And we'd love to see if you have a trivia question of your own. We'd love to hear it as well.
Thank you, guys. Please show your support. The next episode may be the last episode. We'll look into that coming this next week. But thank y'all for all y'all support that y'all have shown. It's been meant a lot, and we thank you. And please tune into that next episode.
Deuces.